One of the biggest mistakes we make as amateur photographers is we tend to take the main subject matter of our picture, in this case the tree, and we put it dead center in the frame. And this is a mistake. This gives it a very static look to the image. There's no movement to it. There's no sense of balance to it because everything is just so structured and so centered. And the pros know not to do this, and they use what's called the rule of thirds. And this actually goes back even before photography to the masters in terms of painting, oil painting, and everything else. And they've also used what's called the rule of thirds. And the way to describe it is, imagine in your viewfinder, and some cameras actually have this, that you had a tic-tac-toe grid that was superimposed over it. And what you want to do is take your main subject matter, and rather than have it dead center, you want to move it either up, down, left, right, so that the main part of the image intersects with a couple of these lines. Let me show you quickly what I mean. I've drawn here in Photoshop what we can look to assume is this grid we're talking about. And as you can see right now, the image is dead center in there, and it's just not very appealing. So what we want to do, there's two parts of this tree that we would look at. One is the vertical trunks and a little bit of the horizontal where the branches are coming out. So just imagine we were framing this on our camera, and I would take this image and I would move it over so that we're now intersecting with a couple of these lines. We have the vertical trunks now coming through on this side of the grid, and we have some of the branches intersecting with the horizontal. And when I take away the grid, you can see what we have now. And I have the original image as well, so you can see the difference. So here's where we've moved the tree now, our main subject matter, and there is the original shot. You can see it's dead center, and here where we've moved it over. And I think you can see that by following this rule of thirds, it's just given a more appealing look to the photograph. It's just not quite as static. It's not this dead center shot. It just has that approach, that sense that gives it a little more balance. And again, that's strictly what the pros do. So when you're framing your next image, imagine, if you don't have it in your camera, imagine this tic-tac-toe grid and take your main subject matter and try to put it in where a couple of these lines intersect, and you can get a much more balanced looking photograph.